What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. I've brought you down to the beach for another day of prospecting. Little change though. We are here to actually prospect. Normally we come here and do mining, which involves standing all day in the sun, moving sand to location, running that sand, packing it up and taking it home. Today's a little different. I have a friend coming down. I'm gonna let him use all of my equipment. We're going to talk about a couple gold cube hacks, and we're going to do some prospecting up and down the beach because, well, we've used up pretty much all the gold that we had last season. So we're looking for a new spot. Let's go see what we find. So this is a pretty nice spot. As you can see, we've got some open areas out in here. And if I pan around, you guys can see that through all that brightness is the ocean. Right over there is the dead whale that we found a few weeks ago. All we need now is our equipment. So one thing I see here on the beach all the time that never ceases to amaze me is the fact that people bring two batteries but only run one at a time. When their battery starts to die, they switch over to the other battery. All you really need to do is run your batteries in parallel. Connect your negative to your negative, your positive to your positive, and connect onto one battery. You can run all day with the 2,000 gallon pump without having any issues. One very important piece of equipment to have when you're down here at the Cape is a tailing sluice. Now I know the old saying, cube it or lose it, and 95% of the time that is true, except for here at Cape Disappointment. Now I can run 7 trays with a tailing sluice and still find some gold here. And no, that's not because I'm running too fast or too slow or too big of a pump. I know what y'all are gonna say in the comments. It's just the fact that some of this gold is so small and flat that it is going to tumble down that system. So having a tailing sluice gives you that extra bit of assurance that that gold has a chance to fall out. So when your gold cube comes in the mail, it's going to come with a slick tray on the top. That works great, and Mike actually runs alternating slick trays down his gold cube. But I really like to know what I'm dealing with when I'm going up and down this beach. I don't want to sit on a spot all day and not be getting good gold. So in the top tray, we put in low profile V matting. That allows us to see the gold before working the rest of the sand down through the system. It also shows us whether we're feeding too fast or possibly too slow. You don't want to feed too fast filling up those mats because that gold's going to go right over the top and head right into the tubs. So one thing that we see down here on the beach is our sand starts to build up in our top tray. We like to know what gold we have, so one trick that you can do to help clean out that top tray is by popping up the back ever so slightly, increasing the amount of angle, allowing you to see that gold a little bit easier when you're prospecting along the beach. Once you know you're on a good spot and you want to retain that gold in your top tray on that V-mat that we installed, you just pop it back down, load it into place. Slows the sand down ever so slightly, allowing that gold to fall out. One thing that's really important when running your gold cube is having clean water. Now you could run just a single tub and suspend your pump up off the bottom and do pretty good. But here's the thing, you're gonna have to end up going back down there to the ocean to get more water for your recirculating system. I prefer to go as long as I can without having to get back into that water, so I run 2 tubs from Walmart. I run a siphon in between them to circulate the water from my first tub to my second, and run my pump on the upward side of the second tub. This gives me ample clean water to go through my gold cube. My pump is not sucking up sand, which will destroy a pump in no time. And we're able to run longer, which means more gold in the box. I really recommend using this system when we're here down at the Cape. So pumps are something that come up all the time in the threads, talking about what you need to run with your gold cube, whether you need to run an 1100 or a 2000. I run both. With an 1100, I can run a much smaller system if I'm not using my tail sluice. If I'm running just my 4-stack going into a tub, I'll run just the 1100. My pressure isn't very much. If I'm running my tail sluice with 2 tubs to circulate that water and clean it out, I need that extra head pressure, so I go with a 2,000 gallon per hour pump. By the time it gets through this 6-foot hose, it's lost some of that pressure and has dropped down to around 1,700 gallons per hour, which seems to be perfect for running a 4-stack with a tailing sluice. One of the biggest changes that I've actually made to my system when I'm down here at Cape Disappointment is a folding table. Not only am I able to put my gold cube stand on it and level off my gold cube really easily, I'm able to give it that height that I need for my tailing sluice as well as my dual tubs for cleaning out. But me personally, my favorite thing, I can have lunch right here while I work, which is nice for me because I don't like to have to stop what I'm doing to feed myself. I can continue to work and eat at the same time. All right, so you guys have probably all heard about all the different mattings that's on the system. We've got low profile V matting, deep V, we've got Vortex, the new Dream mat, you name it, it's out there. There's even a guy on the internet who's been making matting out of silicone and Legos. Check him out. Right now in my sluice, I'm using 2 trays of low profile V matting and 2 trays of the Vortex mat that came with the sluice box. Down the line, I will be switching those out with Sawtooth matting, which is a very good mat. I really recommend switching out your mats to whatever you feel works. If you're working in a river, I would recommend using the Vortex mat. It seems to hold on to the bigger gold a little bit better. If you're here at Cape Disappointment or at another beach placer, I would recommend the low profile V or the Sawtooth matting. It works very well. But don't hate on what came with the gold cube. The matting that is in there is very good and will work amazingly effectively. Amazingly effectively, that's good English. It'll work amazing here at the beach. I'm gonna get back to doing some work. So at the end of the day, you have your concentrates and you have to drain your tub of water to get your concentrates into a tub. Guess what? You've lost gold. But if you do it this way, you won't. He's pouring the tub through our tailing sluice that's been cleaned out. If any gold comes out of there, guess where it's going to end up? Right in that tail sluice. All right. So this isn't as much as a hack, as much as a recommendation and a warning. Everybody has been guilty about storing their gold cubes in a tub. Do not do that. It's okay in cold weather. It's okay if we're transporting them, but don't have a lid on it when you're transporting it. Why? These are made out of plastic. When plastic heats up, what happens? It distorts. You can move them in the tubs. Hold them in there for a short time, but do not store it for a long time in the tub. It's best to stand it up vertical in a corner, as long as your wife will let you, and store it that way. Please do not store it in a tub. So I want to thank everyone for joining me today. We had an absolute blast at the Cape. My buddy Justin gets to go home with a nice bucket of concentrates, and I look forward to seeing how much gold he gets out of that. We're all loaded up in the Dodge. We're gonna head home. Sorry that there's no gold cleanup this time, but I hope that you learned something from these hacks/tips. Until next time, thanks. And don't forget to hit that like button and maybe subscribe down below. Until we meet again.